Hello, my name is Luke Katara, and first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on this amazing opportunity that we have to form a partnership with a business in France. So, what I was tasked to do was to let you know what to expect while you're doing business in France. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is just the overview and safety considerations when you're going to France. So first of all, a lot of foreign countries, when you go to them, they recommend that you get certain vaccinations or immunization shots. With France, you don't need to worry about that. What we have here in the U.S. will also cover what you would need for France. So also, your U.S. dollars won't work in France. You need to convert them to the euros, which you can do at one of a number of facilities in France. Also, around this time of the year, in France, it's about 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So for casual clothes, you just get something that can handle around that kind of temperature. You don't need to get anything for an extreme. So pretty much basic clothes are fine right now in Paris or France in general. So to get around the city, there are 3 different ways you can do it. The first thing you can do is you can drive, but as a heads up, the traffic there is a lot faster, a lot more aggressive than what we have here in the U.S. So you need to be prepared to stop on a dime or just get out of the way of something on the road. And also you need to study up on the rules of traffic in France, because there are a few differences between here and the U.S. One big one is that for cars getting onto the main road, they have the right of way compared to here in the U.S. where the cars on the main road have the right of way. The second way is that you can rent a bike, but if you're going to do that, I highly recommend you bring your own helmet because they won't provide one. And also, while you're using your bike to get around the city, you also need to watch out because the fast and aggressive traffic, a truck or another vehicle can round a corner, and if you're not paying attention, can actually hit you while you're crossing the street. The third way to get around the city is you can use their trains. Just a heads up though, if you go on their trains, even after they've scanned it and you're on the train, don't lose your ticket. The conductors there will do random checks, and if you don't have your ticket, they will fine you. They're not looking for an excuse or anything. They'll fine you, and that will be the end of that. So, France itself is a pretty decently sized country at 6 to 7 million people. It's pretty widely Catholic, and also the national language is French, but also a lot of people speak English there as well. Also, when you get to Paris, there are a number of airports there, so you don't need to worry about getting into the city. When you travel, you'll be in Paris. Yeah. So, next for the meeting etiquette and why you're in France. So, the big thing is that whenever you go, you want to wear your finest suit and your finest accessories. But if your accessories aren't too well made, or they're not the finest, don't bother with them. France is very big on appearances. It's also the same for females. They're expected to wear their finest suit and finest accessories, but if they're not the finest accessories, they shouldn't even bother as well. And whenever you greet someone in France for a business meeting, it's you give them a handshake. It's light yet firm, and then you want to give them about 2 or 3 up and down motions, and then that's it. You don't want to pursue any further than that. And for business cards, you want to get it in both English and French, and you want to have a few made. So that way, whenever you show up to the company, you can hand your business card to the secretary, and they have your information in case they need to schedule another meeting. Also, after the handshake is when you would hand your business card to the person. And so during meetings, France is very big on separating personal and professional lives. So meaning that if there's a little bit of small talk before the meeting, you don't bring up any personal questions or just anything personal. That's very rude in France. Once you're in that meeting room, it's all business. And when the meeting starts, you're going to be more talking about logically how our company can provide the best for their company. And you'll back that up with what you have. Okay. And also during the meeting, they're not going to reach a decision. It's more to get information about the plan, company, or contract. So after the meeting, the people in there will take it up to their superiors, and it'll keep going up the chain until it reaches the senior level executives there, and from there they'll make the decision. So if you actually get to know the people that make the decisions, it'll speed it up pretty well, because decisions in France can take quite some time, usually like 2 to 3 months. Also, a big thing to do, or not to do in France, I should say, is that if they will reach out to you and ask you for more information, you don't want to use a high-level pressure sales tactic on them. If you do, it'll push them away, and that'll just hurt us in the long run. And also, if they do sign the contract, that's not considered set in stone. Once it's signed, it's still considered up for negotiation. So, just a heads up on that even after the contract is signed, we're still not done negotiating with them. Okay. Next, I'll talk about the social aspects of business while you're over there. So, what's wrong for? So, business dinners have only recently started becoming common in France. Usually, it's lunch or dinner that they have that they'll meet. There'll be a business meeting while eating a meal together. The dinner etiquette there is actually pretty similar to what we have here in the U.S. But one big thing is that you don't start eating until your host says bon appetit. Also, you don't bring up business during that meal until your partner does, because again, they're very big on professional and personal lives. So don't bring up business until they do. Also, after the dinner's ended, and on the bill, it'll have 15 to 20% added for a tip. Because unlike the U.S., tipping is also included in the bill, as opposed to here where it's its own separate thing. So once you pay the bill, your tip is also taken care of. And if one of them does invite you back to their house for dinner one night, it's pretty common to bring them a gift. Usually, the two biggest things to give them are a small box, or not a small, but a box of really nice chocolates, or a small handcrafted trinket from a fine craftsman there in the city. Two things you never want to bring, however, are a bottle of wine or food. It's a very rude gesture in France because to them it says that they won't be able to take care of you. Finally, just a few other things to consider. So, there have been some terrorist attacks somewhat recently in France. And so the government has actually instructed tourists and citizens that to keep an eye out, and if there's anything suspicious, to contact the proper authorities and to leave the area. So keep that in mind while you're traveling around. So also, whenever they want to learn more information about this, and they want to make another meeting, schedule it at least 2 weeks away. Don't schedule anything sooner or last minute. They don't like that. They are very big on planning not only their social lives out, but also business lives out. So always keep that in mind. Also, if you're going to be late, even if it's 5-10 minutes, call ahead of time. They're also very big on punctuality. Finally, I would recommend taking a course on business dinner etiquette rules here, because that's one less thing to worry about while you're in France. This is just about where I've gotten all that information to give you. And if you have any questions about anything, don't be afraid to call or email me. Thank you so much.